Introducing Kicking Back with the Cooks, presented by Woodhouse. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Here's head coach John Cook, along with your host, Lauren Cook West.
Welcome back to Kicking Back with the Cooks. It's our July episode, and a lot has happened, as always. I feel like every time we take a break for a month, a million things happen, and so we have a lot to catch up on. Maybe we just need to start recording these weekly because of how much is going on in the Nebraska volleyball world. So we are going to get right to it. Coach Cook, let's catch up. First of all, how are you?
I'm doing good. We're on day 13 of camp. Today is the last day of Team Camp 2, so there'll be a big party tonight. I'll be taking my boys out. Jalen's going recruiting. I think Kelly's going, and Lindsay may make an appearance. But we're gonna go to our traditional stomping ground. So,
an undisclosed location.
Yeah, undisclosed location. But we will be taking it over. Yeah, I don't have an NIL deal with them, so I'm not going to say their name.
That's smart. You gotta work the system.
They did the NIL, I'd be saying the name.
Okay, so let's focus on camp since you brought that up. Dream Team Camp. That just happened.
That was last week sometime. It was unbelievable. We started that 5 years ago. So Lexi Rodriguez, Allie, Kennedy, Lindsay, and Whitney were all in that first Dream Team Camp that we started. And what was significant about that was I remember back then the rules were legal, but we offered Lexi Rodriguez in my office, and of course she walks out to the elevator and then comes back and says, "I'm ready to commit." So it's Dream Team Camp's kind of become a tradition. It attracts the top players, and we have all kind. I mean, I think it was 200 kids in that camp, but the top two courts are just major Division I talent, and they're younger, so they're 9th and 10th graders, but incredible camp, incredible talent. I was blown away by the level of play. We had two of the best setters since that I've seen at that age group. So they were just. I mean, I would pay to watch those guys. They're just really, really good. So it was an awesome Dream Team Camp. We had a great time, and I coached that whole camp. So it's a blast. I go back to my roots. I'm out there. We go 3, 5, 6. About 8.5 hours a day. So it's awesome.
Tell us, do you send out invites to these players, or do they just say, "Hey, I want to come," and you say, "Okay, great"? How does that process work?
Yeah, we're allowed under the NCAA rules to send invitations to camp. So we can send brochures, we can send invitations, and for this one we call it a Dream Team Camp. So we send out specific or invitations to people that we would like to consider coming to that camp.
And did everyone show up who you sent an invite to?
Pretty much, yes. And then we had a few that were signed up to attend camp, but were selected to the USA Junior Youth Team that started training, and they're actually getting ready to play right now. They started yesterday, I believe, in the Pan American Cup, which is being hosted in Tulsa, Oklahoma this year. So I think they got their first win. But we had, I think, 7 players that were committed to our Dream Team Camp or signed up to come, and then were selected by USA, so they weren't able to attend because it started at the same time. And
you're not just training all day. I mean, you're talking to them about watching film. You guys, I think, went over and did some testing. What was the testing you did over in, I think it's in East Stadium or North Stadium? Has to do with your brain and your body and how you function. Am I on the right path there?
Yeah, we do. Well, we need a whole podcast to go into what we do, but one of the things is we want them to, this is what it's like to be a Husker and a volleyball player at Nebraska, and here's some of the things that happen here. So, like Brian Committ, our strength coach, he's part of the camp. He works with them on how to take care of their bodies, how to recover, how to warm up properly. We do some, force plate testing, which and they get all the results of this, so they can see where they're at, what they have to work on. Are they quick jumpers? Are they slow jumpers? How's their step close? So it's a pretty cool deal, and a pretty good experience for those guys. We do watch a video with them as well, just to show them what elite players do, how we train the Huskers, and of course we're showing. We show video to the whole camp as well on our big screen, so we do that for all of our camps. We think it's really, really important, because I think kids today are very visual learners. So, because how do a lot of them go to school for 2 years on computers? So, they're really tuned into that. So we've really ramped up our video for camps.
Awesome. Well, these go hand in hand, Dream Team Camp and recruiting. And I know you just went through you're always recruiting, but you just went through a pretty serious, fast-paced time in your recruiting process. What can you talk about? And more specifically, I know the rules have changed, especially since I was recruited. I think even within the last I think you mentioned it happened within the last 5 years, but tell us how the recruiting process is different, what takes place. I know you can't mention names and who's committed and talk about specific recruits, but can you just tell Husker Nation about the process? And you were getting calls at midnight on a certain date, and so can you just tell us about all of that and how it all works?
Yeah, well, in the old days, we could recruit it, talk to campers, we could offer them scholarships at camp, and now, and this is the second summer that this has happened, we cannot talk any recruiting to anybody in camps, even if they try to call us or even through their club coaches. Technically, the rules are you can't really do anything until they're starting their June 15th, starting their junior year. So that's and starting at 12 o'clock midnight, we can start making phone calls, Zoom calls to these recruits. August 1st, they can start making official visits. So everything has been pushed back, which I'm still debating whether it's good or not. But so what happens is on June 15th, we start talking to and Zooming with these potential recruits and their parents, and then from there you have Zoom calls. You can have as many Zoom calls as you want. You can set up visits, and at that point, it's legal for them to verbally commit. And so what everybody thought would happen, and the super smart people in the NCAA, when they made all these recruiting new changes, they thought everybody would go on visits, take their time, go through the process, because when you were getting recruited, you couldn't visit till your senior year. Well, everybody committed in 9th grade, so it was like nobody ever did home visits or official visits anymore. And so starting June 15th, well, it hasn't changed anything. I think most of the top players have all committed by now, and they all started committing. What's interesting is they start all these Zoom calls, and I had one coach I talked to did 40 Zoom calls in 3 days. We did 4, and
this was another college coach.
Yeah, one of my people. So anyway, 40 Zoom calls in about 3 days. We did 4. And the thought is everybody's going to take their time and commit. Well, what happens is day 1, somebody commits. Day 2, all of a sudden you got 3 or 4 committing. And then it just creates a chain reaction. By the end of the first week, 30 of the top kids have committed. And now, again, this isn't to Nebraska. This is to all over the country. But they decide they don't want to wait to do the official visits. They get sick of the Zoom calls. They're all excited, and everybody's all excited, for the first couple. Then it becomes old hat, and then they just start committing. And so, that's about all I can say on that. And you can follow social media and articles to find out, what happened with Nebraska recruits.
We'll just say it was impressive. Another impressive year of recruiting.
Well, they still got to get here, and we got to, they don't, and that's the thing. They don't really, never really becomes official till November of their senior year. Anyway, like I said, we had a very small group that we were going to recruit, and that's why, I think we only did 4 Zoom calls. And
but you were getting calls at midnight.
Well, some of them like to go at 12:01, so
which is way past your bedtime.
Yeah, but I'll stay up on that day. It's like Christmas. You're staying up all night, waiting for Santa. So, but some of them like to get going right away. I mean, just think about it. They've been waiting for 2 or 3 years to be able to talk to a college coach.
You were on cloud 9. I was with you those couple days, and
yeah.
It is like Christmas morning for you. I mean, you're just so happy. You're in a great mood. You're ready to go.
Yeah. Well, it is fun to meet these guys. You watch them play, over and over and over, and then you get to talk to them and meet their parents, and it is actually kind of a fun process.
Well, I think Husker Nation, I know I definitely don't realize all the new rules and all that goes into it, but I think that was nice of you to shed some light on what really happens and how that process works. Anyways, the next big topic we're talking about, UCLA. Should we get an 8 clap going?
Well,
C.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't go to UCLA.
Fight.
Yeah. I didn't go to UCLA, so I don't know that one.
Well, your daughter did for half a year.
Yeah.
UCLA, USC joining the Big Ten in 2024. Give me your thoughts on that.
Epic. It's brilliant. It's epic. Money. It's super conference. It's going to create, an unbelievable volleyball conference. And, everybody asks me when I'm going to retire. I'm like, okay, here's another great new challenge now to try to win that conference. And they'll be here. We'll start 2024, and it's going to help their recruiting. And I think it's just going to be epic. And and I'm looking at the sport of volleyball, but I think for football and basketball, same thing. Now, there's going to be some long trips. It's going to be hard on athletes, but I think the money kind of overtakes all that. But what I like about Nebraska is we're in the middle, so we'll have the shortest trip to the West Coast. We still have to go to the East Coast, but think of the East Coast teams going to LA, or the LA teams having to go all the way to the East Coast. I mean, those are going to be some long trips.
The first thing you told me when I asked you, what do you think of UCLA, USC joining the Big Ten? You said, well, I have to coach, another few years because I need to be coaching in the conference when UCLA and USC join. So looks like you're sticking around for a while.
It's exciting. I just think it's really, really exciting. And more exciting than Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC. So, and LA is a great place to go. Those are 2 storied programs. And, you look at all the schools that have won national championships in the sport of volleyball. I mean, most of them now by 2024 will be in the Big Ten. There's a couple of exceptions there, but the super conferences are where it's at. And, and I've heard this over and over in these Zoom calls we had and talking to recruits. They want to play in the Big Ten. They all the top players want to play in the Big Ten because they know it's the best conference. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the strongest conference.
It's a great challenge, and we're probably going to have to raise ticket prices because it's going to be even more exciting than it already is.
We don't want to say that. You're going to make Husker fans mad.
No, we won't. Listen, I've been all over the state this year. Anybody doesn't want their season tickets, there's 1,000 people waiting to get them. So
true.
That's the biggest challenge. Our student section sold out on the first day. I'm pretty sure we'll sell out the red-white game, and of course the season's sold out. And I think just people love volleyball, and this is even going to hype it up even more.
So here's one of the first things I thought about. When you get to the NCAA, let's say it's 2024, we're in the NCAA tournament, and you have this Big Ten Super Conference, Big Ten Conference with all of these incredible volleyball teams. I mean, it's obviously going to be in the sport of volleyball the toughest, best conference. How I know the NCAA has to, with the tournament, the way it's laid out, they have to select a certain amount of teams from certain conferences, correct?
That's a great question. Not necessarily. There are automatic bids, but I also think, this is going to create how they do the NCAA tournament. I mean, it's going to create a new model for, and like some people are predicting, over 10 teams from the Big Ten will go to the NCAA tournament. So
they'll change it.
They're going to have to, and this year they're actually going to try seeding the top 32. So I think there's about 32 automatic qualifiers, and then they're going to seed the top 32, which means on paper what they're saying is they're going to pick the top 32 teams.
Well, hopefully they're not looking at the RPI.
What they've also said is they're going to use other tools besides the RPI, which we know is flawed, and the NCAA has admitted it is flawed, but we still use it to make decisions. So now they're going to use some other tools to help them make better decisions.
Let's hope that's the case. Speaking of Big Ten Conference, your schedule came out. I want to get your thoughts on that, and I definitely have my opinions about it. And the first thing I notice is there's a lot of Sunday matches. And as a fan and as a former player, I'm just not a fan of or in favor of Sunday matches. So what are your thoughts on your schedule and all of those Sunday matches?
Yeah, I mean, this is why I wanted to move volleyball to the spring. You don't have to deal with football conflicts. And so we have the football conflicts, and that's why a lot of schools aren't going to do volleyball and football on the same day, and we just can't avoid them. So guess what? We have to live with it. Now in Nebraska, we will do it same day. So we don't have, we love doing it the same day. In fact, I think that's what helped build Nebraska Volleyball was, Coach Pettit putting a barbershop sign outside the Coliseum when people are exiting the football game, hey, come in and watch volleyball. So that's one big thing. And then some of the way they're doing the scheduling now in the Big Ten, with their creative scheduling and trying to fit all the parameters in that we've asked for as coaches, not to have 5 matches in a row on the road, and there's several other things in there, but they've scheduled some of these weekends where you will play on a Friday, potentially at home, on the road Sunday, or if you're at home on Friday, you're going to go somewhere on a Sunday. So you add those couple weekends in, add in the football conflicts. Now over half our schedule, Big Ten will be on Sundays. So, but we're playing in our non-conference. We're playing Stanford on a Tuesday night, Creighton on a Wednesday night. I think we're playing Loyola on a Thursday night. Of course, we have our Saturday matches, and we're going to have several Sunday matches on the road. But most of those Sunday matches will be televised. In fact, I think most of our matches are going to be televised. So you get some exposure with that. So there's positives, there's negatives, but you're right. As a student athlete, Sunday's the one day you just love to have off because you don't have school. You just take a break. Now they're going to have Mondays off, but they still have to go to school.
Yeah, that's tough. I also just feel like for fans, Sunday's a family day, and yeah, maybe you come to a volleyball game, but still it's your day to get chores done. It's your day to, if you go to church, I don't know. It's just Sundays are tough.
Yeah. Well, the Red Kingdom's 24/7, so we got to protect it 7 days a week.
I actually think. Well, are you playing on a Monday this year?
No, Monday's the only day we're not playing on.
So Mondays are So it's not 24/7. It's like 24/6. But
yeah, 24/6.
All right, July 1st.
Lauren, can we just talk about the Red Kingdom for a second?
Okay, yeah.
I'm so fired up. We're working on the designs. I think we got them down. It is going to be epic. The design for the Red Kingdom. We're going to have shirts on all the student section. The Red Kingdom. Welcome to the Red Kingdom. How we're going to do it. It's going to be the buzz to go with the song we created. the design and epic. And just so you know, I'm going to give a little teaser out. Bud's going to be in it.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were going to consult me with the t-shirts for the student section, because I've been in contact with the student section leaders and they're like, we want your input. Let's get together and make t-shirts. And they like the retro idea I talked about on a previous episode.
We are doing a retro. We're actually doing 2 designs. We're going to do a retro design from the 90s. It's a retro 90 design. It's really
Love
cool,
it.
really creative. But then we're doing one for the Red Kingdom, and we're actually going to go and shoot our poster and picture day. We're actually going to go shoot it at a location in Lincoln. I cannot disclose where that is, but we're not doing it in the typical Devaney. We'll have our team picture in there, but we're going off-site to shoot, which I don't remember. I don't remember ever doing that at Nebraska.
Another undisclosed location?
Yeah.
Is it the same location you're going to party at tonight?
No.
Okay.
But we're these people that work in they're so creative what they come up
I know.
with. But I'm like pumped about the design they came up with, and I think our student section is going to love it, and I think our fans are going to eat it up. So anyway, it's good. Again, we're trying to have some fun and make it fun and create new traditions and new excitement and create a buzz.
Awesome. I'm just happy you're going with the retro idea. The 90s are back, baby.
Yeah, that's because I didn't like it at first, and then they explained it to me. I go, that's brilliant.
Nice. All right, July 1st, we'll go back to that, has come and gone. And you said by July 1st, we would all know what's going on with Kayla Caffey. Well, it's now, we're recording this on July 19th, and we have not heard about Kayla Caffey. And Twitter is buzzing, Instagram is buzzing, everyone
Really?
wants to know what's going on. So can you give us any updates?
I guess we'll have to wait till August 8th when we start.
Oh my gosh. So now you're giving us a new date.
Ball's in Kayla's court, so she's, I don't know if she's going to do an announcement or what. So the ball's in her court, so we'll see.
We should have brought her on today.
Kayla's wearing a new pair of glasses because her contacts were bothering her, so she's in camp wearing glasses. She looks very studious.
Nice. I have my blue light glasses on. I think they make a difference.
Yeah.
I don't have prescription glasses, but
yeah, research says big difference. It's important.
yeah. I like that's another look that's coming back, is wearing glasses. I see so many more people wearing glasses nowadays.
It's better than masks.
Yeah, but masks are back too, I hear, in Lincoln.
Yeah, I know. They're
some
coming
people.
back, yeah.
I wanted to ask you this on the last episode and I forgot, so I'm going to ask you this episode, but we just had a bunch of graduates back in May and June, and I just want to know, what are 3 tips that you would give those graduates, or what advice you would give maybe your younger self, kind of 3 tangible points that they can, if someone's listening who just graduated or who's making a big life change, they can take these tips and use them.
You're talking about graduates from high school or college?
High school, college, grad school, yeah.
Like if you graduate after 14 years of being an orthopedic surgeon at the Med Center, who I got to speak to those guys?
Yeah, tell us some tips that you told them. We'll start there. Just life advice, something that you would give or say to, let's say you were talking to a group of people who had just graduated, whether it's high school, college, grad school.
You need a hobby. Got to have a hobby.
Okay.
Got to have it. You got to have something. And the stress of life is you're trying to get going. You got to have a hobby. So there's all kinds of things you can do. 2,
Hold on, what's your hobby?
horses.
Oh,
Horses.
That's a new hobby.
Horses and roping.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I could literally be on the professional rodeo circuit right now if I wanted to and didn't have camps.
You're not that good.
I've been invited to every rodeo. They have a novice division and they have an older person's division. So I could literally be on the tour right now.
The senior citizen rodeo tour?
This weekend it's in Wahoo. Next week it's in Burwell. I mean, I've been invited to all of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So hobby.
Wait, hold on. We still need to get video of you roping.
Okay.
No one's posted that on social media. I've been asking for it.
We'll unleash it.
Okay, so get a hobby. That's number one.
2, I call it team within your team. You got to surround yourself with people that are going to help you be your best. And every successful person that I have studied, they all have a group of people or a team that helps them be the best. And what I talk to our players about, make sure you're around people that are going to make you better. You don't want to be around people that are going to take you down. I've seen so many of our players get around people that aren't going to do that, and it impacts their performance and their happiness and all that stuff. So team within a team, get a hobby, and then each day you got to ask yourself 3 questions. 1, who needs me today? So figure out who's going to need you today, and somebody's going to need you. And unless you're studying the ice on the Antarctic and you're by yourself, maybe nobody needs you up there, but in your life somebody's going to need you. Family, who your workers, your team, whatever you're doing. 2, whatever you're doing, are you doing a good enough job that you'd want to be hired? You got to ask yourself that every day. Am I doing a good enough job that they would want to hire me back? Or whatever it is, am I doing a good enough job that I've earned that and will get to keep it? And then the third one is, and this is what I ask myself every day, who would I want to be coached by me? Okay, so do people want to be around me? And ask yourself that every day. Am I doing a good enough job that those players want to come back? Am I doing a good enough job that the people I work with want to see me tomorrow, and work with me, or are they dreading it? And so the analogy I use, every day when you interact with people, you're either pumping them up, it's like a volleyball, you're pumping it up to 5 pounds per square inch, or you're deflating the volleyball. And last week, Lauren, I had an unbelievable week. I got to speak at the Driftwood Vet Clinic on Northwest Lincoln, and they're opening up, Dr. Tony there is opening up a drive-in vet clinic. And he's got a new team there. They range from high school kids to other vets. And it's a first concept of where you would drive in this bay, and they come out and look at your animal that you brought in. I think they have 3 drive-in bays, but I went out there and did kind of a team building talk to them. So that was really cool. And then the next day I got to speak to all of the police sergeants and captains. They had a workshop day, and I got to go speak to them. And so my point in sharing that is, I look at those days as, okay, I get to go and pump those volleyballs up. I got to pump up Driftwood Vet Clinic. I got to pump up the police, it's a tough job right now, and their morale is not great. So anyway, those are the 3 questions you got to ask yourself every day. How was that answer, Lauren? Because I know you're going to give me an opinion.
That you just knocked off confession and lesson.
Okay,
that was beautiful, incredible.
Thank you. Because I was driving over today like, what the hell? I hope we don't ask the confession thing, whatever that is.
Give yourself a pat on the back, because that was awesome.
All right, good.
Should we tell the story about the connection that I made up here and the connection that you made when you talked to LPD, and how it's all intertwined? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Should we tell that story?
Yeah, you want to tell it? Or you want me to?
You can tell it. You're better at telling stories.
Okay. So when I went to speak to the Lincoln Police, there was about, I think, 60 officers, and I was waiting on the speaker going before me, who was speaking about laws and things like that, and I think he works with the police and the government and so on. So anyway, he comes up to me. I'm setting my stuff up, and he goes, "Hey, Coach Cook, nice to meet you." And I said, "Yeah, nice to meet you." And he says, "Hey, we have a connection." I go, "Really? What's that?" And he goes, "This is unbelievable." But he says, "My daughter played volleyball at Lincoln Southeast, and she got to meet your daughter." And I go, "Okay, yeah." So I mean, I'm thinking, okay, you're in Wyoming. What, how'd that happen? And he said, "Yeah, she's the nanny of the people that run the Diamond Cross Ranch, and where Lauren was helping with a wedding there." And again, I've told this story so many times. The weddings are so cool there because when you say you finish your vows, they have 30 head of horses. You sent me that video. 30 head of horses run full bore right by the whole wedding party. It is so cool. Well, anyway, she's the nanny of the people that are running those weddings at the Diamond Cross Ranch up in north of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Yeah. So he was telling me how excited she was because you were her idol playing volleyball, and here she is as a nanny for the kids of the people, that are running the weddings. So, yeah, and there's connections all the time.
Small world. So for anyone listening, Diamond Cross Ranch is a historic ranch in right outside of I think it's technically in Jackson Hole, right, Wyoming, but it's.
I think that
it's like Moran.
By Moran, so it's north.
And they have weddings. They do. There's a cowboy there named, and I actually just bought you his book.
Yep, I'm about third of the way through it.
Okay, it's called Think Like a Horse, right?
Yep.
And it's by Grant Gallagher. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but he's a famous, they call him the horse whisperer because he's just a famous cowboy, and he came out with this book. But like Microsoft CEOs, professional sports team coaches, all these people flock to him and go on these like 1, 2, 3 day retreats, and he teaches people. It's just him and a horse, and he's working with these horses, but he's teaching people just all these life lessons and kind of how you're applying, all these cowboy skills and talking about horses with your team. You're almost like Grant Gallagher. You're similar in the way that you guys teach and try to connect the two of horses and life and how it's all intertwined. But anyways, it's the owners of the ranch that that girl is nannying for, and I happened to be helping out a friend working a wedding there and for the weekend, and we happened to connect, and it's crazy. Nebraska people are everywhere, and Coach Dad. I just called you Dad, Coach Cook, whatever. When I met her, we hugged. I mean, it was like a full-on embrace, like we had known each other for 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's just so special that you have your Nebraska people are connected everywhere, and they're always so nice and kind, and you feel, even though you've just met someone from Nebraska, you feel like you've known them your whole life.
Yep. Happens to me all the time and everywhere we go, and every time I get on an airplane in an airport, somebody's coming up to me, taking a picture. I'm from here. I heard you speak. It's awesome. People in Nebraska are proud of being Nebraskans.
They are. You're getting on an airplane tomorrow, and I have to tell you, Madden, she keeps saying, Papa, like when she's starting to talk, and so she wants to know when she's going to see Papa. And so I keep telling her, okay, 3 days, 2 days, okay, 1 day. And I said, Papa's, coming in on the airplane. So now all day, every day for like the past 5 days or whatever, she's just repeating, Papa, airplane, sky, Papa, airplane, sky. And then three, but it's like tree, like she can't say it. She doesn't say it perfectly. So anyways, it's cute, but it's funny because she knows Papa's coming on an airplane in the sky in a couple of days, and it's funny to watch her say that.
That's cool.
And she gets when I say, okay, we're going to go pick up Papa, she goes like this and then goes, yay!
Good. That's awesome.
Someone's fired up to see you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to end it with this. This is the lesson that I have. And you're going to appreciate this, but of all the paths you take in life, make sure a few of them are dirt.
That's all about horses right there. Because you know what I love about that? You're dirty. After you ride horses and stuff, you're in the dirt. And that, you know, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just go feed the horses an apple and I'm covered in dirt.
Yeah, there's some about it. I mean, why do kids play in the dirt? Madden's probably gonna start eating dirt here soon.
Yeah, she already eats. She tries to eat rocks.
Yeah.
She tries to put the dirt in her mouth. I don't get it.
Yeah, no, it's no. And I'm glad you mentioned Grant's book, because the guy basically teaches world-class leaders, these CEO guys, lessons from working with horses. And I know, and I'm reading the book, I just connect with it so well because. When you're working with a horse, like I tell Jalen all the time, Jalen, he loves to talk. And he talks a mile a minute. Everybody loves Jalen. But in coaching, when you're trying to work with a horse, you can't talk to them. I mean, they can hear your voice, but they don't know what you're saying. So you have to find other ways to get them to do what you want to do. And I think the best coaches say very little, but get those athletes to do what they want. So all that stuff is really, really cool. And, I say it's a new hobby, but it's also, I'm really into it because it's helping me become a better coach.
Well, I didn't think you could get any better, but it looks like there's always room for improvement in your eyes. That'd
be the fourth thing I would tell graduates, tell yourself every day you know nothing. You got to go learn every day. And that's what makes it fun. Try to always be getting better and learning and create new challenges and fun things.
Well, that was a great episode. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're very, very busy between recruiting and camps and cowboying and being a grandpa and a dad and a husband and everything else. So thank you for your time. Husker Nation, thank you as always for watching, listening, supporting us in the podcast. And we will talk to you next month, which we may be recording once you're in season, depending on when we can find a date to record. But you may be starting your season by the time we're on the mic next.
Yeah, it's a couple weeks away. We get going, so it's exciting.
I can't believe it. It always sneaks up on me, but I feel like for some reason, especially this year, I feel like we just finished the season, and maybe it's because you went so late in the season, but I feel like we just got done with the volleyball season.
Yeah, I think. I know our players are excited, our coaches are excited, and so we got a great schedule this year. We're playing a lot of great teams, so it's going to be, just get on the edge of your seat and hang on. Here we go.
Well, with that being said, we'll see you all next month. Thank you, and go Big Red.